Hello and welcome to another update video about Aptos APT. It's a very young chart history, but due to the current price action, I of course get a lot of requests to cover APT, which I certainly am listening to. Yesterday I presented to you two different wave counts. We talked first of all a few days ago about this white wave count, highlighted here in 5 waves to the upside. Talked about the upcoming wave 4 here, which happened and it addressed and hit our sort of pivot point target area, bounced off, and is now putting this expected 5th wave in. Now, ideal targets for this 5th wave have already been broken. That was yesterday, I think, 1856, and above that the target would be $22. But it is then getting unrealistic that it's all happening in the white wave count, because as per the white count, you would at some point here now expect a reversal to the down. Well, not a reversal, but let me take those fibs out. What you would expect is that it's gonna peak after 5 waves and then come down, because this would be a wave 1, and we would then look at a possible wave 2 pullback. So looking at this as a wave 1, and then at some point when these 5 waves are complete, you would expect a wave 2 down, and so it would move up. The wave 2 would be an ABC correction, happen in 3 waves, ABC, as per the rules of market structure, yeah? Most likely A wave, B wave, C wave. I'm gonna take that out again, otherwise we have too many waves on the chart. But it should finish at some point, you know, it's already rallied more than you would reasonably expect. Why is that the case? Well, it's the case because the typical targets that you get for a 5th wave are that you take the length of the 3rd, and you go to the low of the 4th, and then you get sort of the region here all the way up to 1865, the 61.8 extension. Now these can always extend higher. Yeah, so it could still be this wave count because I only have 5 waves, but it can obviously still extend out further. Exactly because of that, I've got this yellow wave count, which also is following this uptrend and trying to structure this uptrend, but it seems to be more closely what we should be following at the moment, because at the moment I have no signal that these 5 waves are done. Now, fair enough, if we now suddenly start to come down, we can go back to the white wave count, yeah, but it should be, because we've broken above the last high, and that was basically that 1865 level, ideal target, yeah. If we really move above that now considerably, we have to consider that yellow wave count more closely, and as you can see, this would rally higher without any stronger retracements. Now, the white wave count would suggest that at some point here we're going to put this wave 2 in. The wave 2 would normally retrace sort of at least 50% of wave 1. So we're talking here about another possible entry point around the 1160 level all the way down to 675. Bear in mind we've got this ascending trend line here. I'm going to take the other trend line out because it has been broken. But this one is probably still relevant if we at some point get a pullback. Time-wise, then this should take quite long, because typically the wave 2 takes longer time-wise than the wave 1. But again, if we push much higher now, we can go to the yellow count. The yellow count consists of various layers of subwaves, because down here we count these as a 1-2, another 1-2, and another 1-2. And all of these require their 3s and 4s and 5s, and then we've got another 3, 4, 5. Another 3, 4, 5. And that's how it can cascade very, very high. So what would be the target in the yellow count? I think it's important to recognize at the moment there is no sign it has peaked. This can certainly still rally way higher. And if we look now at target for the 3rd wave, we're looking here at 23, well, basically $24. And if we reach that, I think we have confidence and confirmation that we are in this yellow count. Then we could at some point here, sort of in that region, there's no rule that says this needs to be over at the 1.618 extension. It can certainly rally higher. Typical extension targets the 2680 level, for example, yeah, the 200%. And then we could get a wave 4 when we get, I will keep support for you defined, yeah, and when we come down into that region, then this is another entry point possibly. At the moment, I don't have confirmation that we are in the yellow count because we haven't reached the 1.618 extension yet. When we do, I will start to put a support area on the chart for you, which is going to be relevant for this wave 4 pullback. If we turn around before that, then I will put a support area on the chart for you that is relevant for the wave 2 pullback. So that's how we can manage it. Until then, I would recommend anyone who entered here in my support area and my long trade area to just move up the stop loss. You can keep it either at break even and just try to ride it higher, or a common way to do it is to move it below the 78.6 retrace at 13.46. That leaves enough space, but you certainly are in profit. But that's up to you. You can also start to take some partial profits, but as per the yellow count, we can still go way higher. That's where we are. We see decent volume in terms of indicators. I mean, we see bearish divergences now. Now, again, that doesn't mean we have to come down, but it means that you typically see these bearish divergences towards the end of a fifth wave or in a fifth wave. Now, if we consider we could still be in the fifth, then that makes sense. Yeah, so you see that compared from the third to the fifth wave, you see that bearish divergence. So that's an interesting one to take note of. That doesn't mean we have to come down straight away, but it's, you know, sort of helps with maybe establishing the wave count. So that's how I came to these two scenarios. Now, bear in mind, these are two possibilities. Of course, the market can do whatever it wants, yeah, but I'm going to show you what I believe are the two most likely scenarios. Certainly, you know, the momentum is still up. With this chart, it doesn't really make sense to look at like the weekly chart because you don't really have any indicators, and it's just too young, this chart, but certainly an interesting one, and one that could go really way higher still. Quite interesting that it rallies without others, but that's what you get, you know, and might be a first indication that, yeah, you know, we are heading into something that you could consider a bull market, right? So it's highly interesting. Here on this way up, yeah, in my opinion, we have three waves now. This might have been the fourth and the fifth. Maybe we get a little bit more of a squiggle, and then we can have another decision point if this maybe is the fifth wave of the first. And if there is any evidence for that, I will make you aware and give you a support area that you could use to scale in, for example. Now here you can also see that bearish divergence, which often happens towards the end of a fifth wave. Good. That's my update about Aptos. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, please check out the channel membership. And also make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content every day. And if you're interested, maybe check out our trading course that we offer on morecryptoonline.com. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.